Guys, it's Sarah, and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday, we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about. And we are in back to school mode, guys. My kids have been back in school for a few weeks. It's been awesome. They're doing great. And so we wanted to kind of tie that into this somehow because Lindsay and I are both moms who have kids in school. And so we thought it'd be fun to talk about books that we have read that have taught us a lesson. So I will say I do have 3 nonfiction books on here because I think those are the books that usually teach you some sort of lesson along the way. But I also do have 2 fiction books. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is a little interesting because I'm going to talk about Decision Points by George W. Bush. President George W. Bush, former president. Now, I'm not one to read political memoirs at all. I actually don't read them. I did read this one though. And I read this, gosh, I think we were in Tucson. So a very, very long time ago. I think it came out not too long after his term was done. But the reason I want to talk about this one is because I feel like after reading that book, I felt like I learned more about the way that the government works than I had ever known in my entire life. Really, truly. And the thing that I liked about this book is that it's not just about him and his presidency and, here's what I was dealing with and I'm such a victim. That wasn't what this book was. This book was, I had to make some really, really hard decisions while I was in the White House, and here's how I came to those decisions. It's called Decision Points. So, here's who I was listening to. Here's the feedback I was getting. Here's the polls that were taken. Here's, this is why I made this decision. And I thought that was really interesting because we don't get that from anybody. We don't get why political leaders make certain decisions that they do. We hear their excuses or we hear the defensiveness of them. Sometimes they come out and they make a decision and they're already on the defensive, which, with the press today, absolutely. So I thought it was a really unique way to present why things were done the way that they were under his presidency. And just the one thing that really stood out to me was, the way that the government works. And a big one was the way that the response to Hurricane Katrina was. That was a big one for me because just the way that he was ridiculed about his response, and he really came to bat about that in the book. And it made me go, oh, that's why. Oh, so it was really interesting. I'm not going to say I recommend it because, political, blah, but I did feel like it taught me a lesson. So I'll give it that. The next one that is a nonfiction that really taught me something was The Sun Does Shine. This is by Anthony Ray Hinton. This book. This book follows Anthony's story, and he was wrongfully imprisoned for murder, and he was on death row for 30 years or something like that until he was finally proven that he didn't do this. And the lesson that this really taught me is just how ridiculous our justice system is. It really is. And just his perseverance was incredible to me, and his attitude was incredible to me. I would not handle myself well in his situation, but it really showed me how completely blind the justice system can be, and just how he was so easily dismissed and people were not listening to him. And there was evidence that it was not him, and it was completely ignored. It made no sense to me whatsoever. So, that was a hard pill to swallow because, as Americans, we like to think that everything works well and, things happen for a reason and there's a reason you go through these steps, but the steps were all wrong for him. And it makes you wonder how many other people it's wrong for. So it was insane. And the next nonfiction I want to talk about is Death's Acre. This is by Dr. Bill Bass. And this one was very interesting to me. I feel like I learned a lot in this one because this follows the Body Farm, which is a actual farm in Tennessee where people can donate their bodies after they have passed on in the name of science. And so this body farm is where they do a lot of forensic tests on dead bodies, which has helped the FBI to understand like the body's decomposition stages and what can happen to bodies at certain times, what can happen to them in certain situations, to help them gather clues when they are presented with a dead body to try to solve a case and to try to collect evidence and to say, okay, well, this happened during this time because it's been sitting in this car for how long and this is what it looks like. So it's been sitting here for how long. It was just incredible. And I guess I've always heard about you can donate your body to science, but I didn't know you could actually do it. Like, I just didn't realize that was something that you could actually choose to do. And a lot of them end up going to this farm. So it's just crazy to me. It's crazy. I mean, I think it's really good because, I mean, it has helped solve a lot of crimes over the years, and it has helped kind of build those standards in police work and stuff. So I think it's great. It was something that completely opened my eyes to something new. The first fiction book I want to talk about is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I love this book. I actually reread it for the second time as an adult a couple years ago and loved it again. I loved it just as much as when I read it in high school. And this book is such a classic. And the big lesson in here is friendship. It's friendship and it's loyalty, and it's being there for your friends no matter what they're going through. It's not casting them aside if you don't agree with their decisions. It's, if your friend calls, you go and you help them and you help them get what they need. And you always have their back, even if you disagree on things. And I think it's such a valuable lesson in just being there for each other and having a family, even if it's a found family. I love that book. And the last fiction one I'd like to talk about is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This book taught me not to stop at a rest stop, especially in a snowstorm. No, thank you. This book follows a woman who is driving in a snowstorm trying to get to her mom, who's having a medical emergency, and she gets to a point where she no longer can safely drive on the road. She just can't. So she pulls over to a rest stop. There are other people who are there also riding out the storm, and some things happen. Some things happen at that rest stop when they're all stranded. And every time I pass a rest stop now, I'm like, nope, I can wait. So oh man. Oh, it's so good though. Okay guys, that is going to be it for me today. Please make sure you go check out Lindsay's video and see what books she's talking about that have taught her lessons over the years. I'm also really interested to see what she talks about, and I will have her link down below. So make sure you go and watch her video, leave her a comment, all that good stuff, and we will see you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.